over the past couple months, I've gotten a lot of new followers. So I'm just going to kind of go over how this page got started, and we'll kind of jump right into it. So I'm just going to play some clips of my 2016 Chevy Colorado. This is the one that I had before the one I'm currently in. Now, for the followers that I've had since then, you guys all know what happened, but for the new ones, here's a brief look at the progression of that build and then ultimately what happened to it at the end. So, March 16th, 2020, COVID was running rampant, if you can see my air quotes, around the world. And I had picked up my mom from work, and we were heading home. And unfortunately, there was a driver in an F-150 that decided to take a left-hand turn into my lane of travel through an intersection. Now, unfortunately, the situation is still ongoing with the courts right now. You know, anybody who knows anything about traffic laws knows the person who's taking a left is automatically at fault. But either way, we're going through this big court thing to try and figure this out. But what happened was it wrote the truck off. I wasn't injured all that much. I have some tendon damage in my hand that gets tight every now and again if it's in the cold or if I'm using tools or whatnot. The passenger, my mom, she actually got the worst of the damage. She ended up shattering her knee into a billion pieces, and she has no kneecap anymore. So they had to extend the tendons from the upper thigh to the lower leg in order for her to get range of motion. She's still not 100%, and there's also a potential that she has, she's never going to be able to walk the same way again. So my insurance company and the court system, they're trying to handle it, but, the courts are still so backed up right now that we haven't had an opportunity to actually get anywhere with it, really. So because of the bullshit police report, the charges were dropped against me, and we're just going through, insurance to try and turn over who's at fault, because they're claiming I'm at fault. And we'll see what happens with that. So as you can see in the photos and videos, I had quite a bit done to the truck. I was on Bilstein 5100 shocks. I had the Acon headlights that were smoked. Probably one of the first people to have them. I had the Chevrolet Script grille, which was hard to get back in 2016 because a lot of the dealerships were claiming that you couldn't get it for that year. I had Hilo HE904 wheels, 265, 65, 18s. OEM Nerf steps. I had the RK Sports functional Ram air hood, a couple Amazon pods on some CBI ditch brackets. Yeah, I mean, I never really felt like I was finished with that build, and so, at the time I had a pretty decent sized community around me, and I knew I didn't want to just abandon the type of truck I had and the type of friends and followers I had made. So I decided to jump right back into a 2020 Colorado, which is what everybody knows I have today. I've actually been advised not to post photos of the accident because the court's still ongoing, but at this rate, by the time everything gets sorted out, it'll be 5 years, and I could care less at this point. So this is the accident. This is what had happened. Basically, the F-150, when he entered my lane, I was going straight. He was taking the left, of course. I started to brake. I knew we were going to hit. I even mentioned it to my mom. I was like, listen, we're going to hit. That's all we can do. But the corner of his F-150 basically entered the center of my Colorado. And as you can see, it's just completely obliterated. There wasn't a single airbag that didn't go off. The truck did its job pretty much. I mean, I think because my mom's a very small person, when we hit, her legs straightened out, and that's what caused the knee to shatter. And now, in 2023, I've got my ambassadorship with CBI. I've got my affiliation with Diode. I'm always reaching out for more, depending on what kind of brands they are. So, and this current truck actually has almost double the kilometers on it, or freedom units for you Americans, than my original one. So, I've been driving it a lot more, and I've been appreciating it a lot more. So it's just been, yeah, I guess this is just a throwback video, or an update for all the new followers.